So the main man, Adrian Newey, has joined Aston Martin F1, and I guess great success is sure to follow. But of course, Newey and Aston Martin have worked together before. He was the creative genius behind this, one of the most extreme and beautiful road cars ever, the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Of course, the Valkyrie isn't a new car anymore. In fact, its torturous development is the stuff of legend, like the LFA times about 100. And plenty of people have tried this extraordinary car on track in sunny Bahrain, very, very briefly. Guess what? The car designed by the greatest ever F1 aerodynamicist is quite good on a race circuit. But now is the time to take it out of its comfort zone entirely. Today, we're going to drive it on real roads, and it seems, in fog and rain. Okay, well, so here we go, the Aston Martin Valkyrie on the road. You might notice I'm wearing these cans. Well, you have to. The noise-canceling technology is necessary because the car is so loud. Let me demonstrate. Oh, okay, we will get to that. But let's talk about some basics, because no one's driven this on the road, really, for any length of time. I feel like I've been living in this car the past few days. And noise aside, this thing is surprisingly okay to be in. The driving position, that feet in there, quite reclined setup, it looks unusual, but it doesn't feel it. There's no really natural straightaway. So in touch, you're so in touch with what the car is doing. What is the car doing? Okay, we're in a little town now, this is good. But the great thing about cars that are designed to perform at incredibly high speeds, what does that mean? Stability, low center of gravity. You want everything to be predictable. You need it to be stable, and that's exactly what this car feels like. All the masses are in the right place. It's got a long wheelbase. That means it actually rides surprisingly well when you're just going through town or whatever. It rides better than, say, a 992 GT3. There's more cover. I'm in track mode now, because it feels pretty appropriate just to dial into track, even on the road. The suspension is quite soft, which is weird. And then you've got the steering. Love the steering wheel control. Again, because at high speed you want to know precisely what the car is doing. At low speed, those traits are still shared, so every turn of the wheel, know what's that? Confidence and feel. Like, let's pause here to remember exactly what it is we're driving. The Valkyrie is powered by a 6.5 LV12 engine, developed in conjunction with Cosworth. It makes the spec of the GM80.50's baby version seem like it's very much still in nappies. It produces 1001 horsepower all on its own, and with a little bit of electrical boost, the Valkyrie's maximum power is 1139 horsepower, at 10,600 RPM. The gearbox is a 7-speed single-clutch sequential track unit, with reverse handled by the electric motor, sandwiched between the V12 and the box. It weighs 1,270 kilos dry, so nothing like as light as the T.50, but the power-to-weight ratio is still outrageous. Of course, it also has incredible aerodynamic efficiency. This is a small car, shorter and much lower than a Ferrari 296 GTB, and with a near non-existent frontal area due to the radical seating position and massive underfloor venturis. It develops up to 1,000 kilos of downforce, though this figure is a bit of a cheat, as that's under full braking with all the active aero set to maximum drag. Anyway, the point is that the Valkyrie sort of has no business being on the road at all. Especially a cold, unbelievably windy one, covered in various animal excretions. Okay, so this really horrible looking key is the key to the Valkyrie. But the real golden ticket is this thing, the steering wheel. So, like a race car, nearly every control is on the wheel, indicators at the top. We have a body lift for the suspension. The hydraulics lift the whole car up, and it works brilliantly, gives you huge clearance. Paddles on the back, of course, and then we have, I guess, the fun buttons. So this here is the ESP mode button. You start in urban. It affects everything in the car, including the suspension, and feels a little bit soft, weirdly, especially sort of longitudinal pitching in urban. So you can use this toggle to go through sport, which turns the ESP off but leaves traction control on. And then, if you go up one more, you get track, and that's pretty good, because that then brings this toggle to life. This is traction control, defaults to 5, goes up to 10. You can wind it down to 0, which is completely off. The car's got an open diff, so doesn't feel that great necessarily. It's not really a car that wants to slide around, as you can tell. But 2 or 3 on a dry road feels really, really good. Obviously, we have the start/stop button here. I'm going to talk through the start process because it's long. Once I get in, neutral button, it's important for neutral, because when you're in first, to get reverse, you have to go through neutral. So, press neutral, and then the down paddle. Oh, and we also have one more thing, the ERS button. That gives you a big, fat boost of electrical torque. I can't even get to 11,000 RPM on the road, so the idea of using this on the road seems absurd. But it's quite nice to have it. Right, let's get in. I'll show you how you get in, and then the start process. It is a procedure. Okay, so, getting in the Valkyrie at the best of times isn't easy. But when it's covered in, horse manure, and cow, and various other things, it's even worse. So effectively, I've put the steering wheel on. You can take it off, but let's try and get in otherwise. So, legs down into the tunnel. Sit on the nice carbon sill, slide your way down. Pretty cozy in here, isn't it? Obviously, we've got harnesses, really reclined, feet up in the air, but the driving position is lovely. And then we've got these 2 digital mirrors for the side view. I'm going to shut the door, cause it's so windy, it's going to blow off. So start procedure. Once you're in, it's quite nice in here. It's a mess, because you have to have stuff like this, and you have to stand on the seats. So apologies to all you weird people who hate to see a dirty car. But, So, to start, feet completely off the pedals. I hit the start button once, system starts to wake up. Once the screen is alive, and I've got a real temperature reading, it's currently 6 degrees, I can hit it again, still no feet on the pedals. Starts to power up properly. When I see this fire extinguisher button is illuminated here, the fans come on. I can hit the brake, press start once, and we're away. Now all I need is an actual paddle. My seatbelt's on, obviously, and I'm ready to go in a Valkyrie. Not exactly usual supercar vibes. The Valkyrie exists in another realm, but amazingly it understands the needs of puny humans too. Feel quite a long pedal and let the brake position, pedals and the brake is lovely. Such, obviously pretty late. Doesn't feel like it's grabbing. And most surprising, feels a little bit heavy. I mean, it's like it's got 2 or 3 different operating zones. 4,000 RPM, such torque with this big, 1,236 GT3 plus ES1. You're braver than I am on the road. The thing is, condition, 6,000, it lights up the tires. But look how, it wants to go. 7,000 is a bit like, you have to have your wits. Because it has so much potential, you cannot expect to drive a car with this much power, performance, grip, and it be easy. Why would you want to? The Valkyrie is an intense experience, as you can tell, and a tricky car to put into context. In fact, I had planned on using a McLaren 750S to set out the current benchmark qualities of a regular supercar: spaceship speed, amazing exploitability and ease of use, and electronics that really aid the driver's enjoyment. We even filmed it, but in light of the overwhelming Valkyrie, it all seems null and void. This is new, more vivid. There's shock and awe in abundance, but also absolute precision, a flow and poise that makes you feel like you're flying. The complex hydraulic platform control is incredible, offering feel and feedback in abundance, and impervious body control. Driving this car is a service to the rest of the world. Not only do they get to see it in motion, hear that V12, absolutely sick. I mean, it is a stunning noise. Outside, it's absolutely horrendous. It's just, oh my god. And the response of the chassis, it's so flat, and the front and rear are so locked together. It's really nice when you start to push the car. I can't really think of any mid-engine cars where you use all 4 wheels so equally. Very often in supercars, hypercars now, there's so much performance that you basically top the front there. And if you get the front to bite, you jump on the power, and then you're driving the car more from the rear. It doesn't feel like that. Each corner is working with you. So the car is beautiful. And the chaos of the engine, the calmness of the chassis, it sort of is atomic for that chaos. Because I think if the car was all hyperactive and as leery as the engine, it wouldn't be exploitable. But it also wouldn't be enjoyable. Just feel like there's deeper. I'm going to be completely honest. I expected this car to be a waste of time on the road. And yes, you have to climb in it, and it was wet by getting outside. Getting in and out, not standing on the seat, is a pain. Starting it up is a bit of a pain. If you're shunting in traffic, the high voltage battery drains quickly, so you can't be creeping along. In traffic, you need to stop, create a gap, drive up to the back of the car, stop again, so you don't get yourself into trouble with the high battery. So there's stuff to think about, there's stuff to manage. But the reality, when you're in this bubble, is unbelievable. It's unbelievably exciting, unbelievable sense of connection and thrill, and an unbelievable ability to deploy its performance and grip. Not all of it, but to give you a taste of what this car is about without feeling held back. On the road, you would assume it would feel claustrophobic, because you want to let it go. But the thrill at low speed is big, and then the low speeds don't last very long. Wow. Yes, this car is not real life. And I'm sure the Gordon Murray T.50 is a road car that you never not want to drive into. You need to be in the lead for this car. But really, the excitement is just off the charts. And the noise, well, you have to suffer for some. Everyone else probably goes slightly deaf, but what a way to go. So that's the Valkyrie on the road. It is, in many ways, completely absurd, but also wonderful. It feels so light and responsive, so composed, and when you find the right road, it does things that nothing else in my experience can replicate. The noise and performance are brutal, but the dynamics are almost ethereal. The Valkyrie has been a nightmare to bring to the road for Aston Martin, but it's a credit to them that they stuck to the task. The result is perhaps the most unforgettable road car that's ever existed.